Okay, this is a video from Aquarius Wave. Women in Iran are actually oppressed. Where are the feminists now? And it's not just feminists, it's also black women. Whoopi Goldberg said black women here in America are more oppressed than the women in Iran. Why do black people, especially black women, have this victim mentality? They have to be the victim in every situation. They have to be worse off than everybody else. And they're not. In Iran, you can be killed for adultery. How many black women have committed adultery and it's like, oh well, they're not dead, they're not beaten, they're not anything. But yet they're the ones who are oppressed. They are the least protected. Go live in Iran for 30 days and then tell me if you have the same opinion. It's like that black woman that moved to Africa. She left America because, oh, America's too racist against black people. She is now complaining she wants to come back because America was nowhere near what Africa is. It's incredible the lying a lot of black women will do, and it's not all. But it's like in this sector of YouTube. They lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. Even when the proof is staring them right in the face, they lie and lie and lie and say it's because they're a black woman they're getting all this pushback. Not that they're wrong, but because they are a black woman. It's insane. Let's check out the video.
I've come to realize in the past couple of weeks as I've been monitoring the situation between Iran, Israel, and now America, is that the only people who are in support of the current Iranian regime, those jihadist, terroristic individuals, the ones who yell out death to America, the only people who are actually in support of them, sadly enough, are those who align in their same ideology and lefties, as well as what is now being labeled as the woke right in America. I've been real disappointed to see who the hell has shown their whole entire backside. And I'm talking about you, Candace Owens. I'm talking about you, Ian Carroll, Tucker Carlson, Hodge twins. Y'all have been gravely incorrect in what's been taking place. And I believe either one of two things is going on. Either you are paid and bought by Qatari dollars, by money that was, and I'm talking about this money was pouring in from years back from Iran into America, funding these protests, etc. Either you're paid for.
Now, I don't get this. I've been accused of having people pay me for the things I say on YouTube as well. I'm not being paid. I'm not getting cash apps. I'm not nothing. I'm not monetized. I don't ever want to be monetized. But yet I've been accused of that because why would I say the things I say? Because the things I say are not true. Even though there's tons of evidence to back up what I'm saying, even the people I'm talking about have said shit out of their own mouths and still say I'm lying, I'm being paid. Why is that?
Or you're consumed with hatred for Israel because you've watched one too many videos, one too many zeitgeist videos, or whatever other rabbit hole you've gone down, and now you can't separate the difference between, this evil cabal and the evil Jew, as they may say, and reality, which is that there is good and bad in all people. and most of them are likely good, and there are few who are doing bad things. But to label the whole because of the few is, well, that's how you get to a 1930s Germany. So that being said, I wanted to give a little bit of a different perspective. Everybody is doing the keeping up with the news thing, and oftentimes I like to get into not just the politics of things, but the human story. And so I thought, let's listen to a woman in Iran, because who has been waiting for this moment for longer than anybody else are the people of Iran. And I would say the women of Iran, those who have been subjugated to essentially second-class citizens by this jihadist regime. Those women have been the ones that have essentially had to carry the weight of the burden that has come from the pushing of this radical Islamist sort of ideology. And so, I thought we could just take a moment to watch this together in real time and see what this woman's stance is. I've seen a multitude and a host of people. There is a true uprising that has been taking place. And, thanks to American forces and Israeli forces, this is becoming reality. And for some of y'all who are in the scriptures, you may be looking at this situation and thinking to yourself, well, this looks familiar. Seems like possible prophecy. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hello everyone, so this video is for the people who are backing up Iran right now, mostly Democrats, that they are supporting Iran right now. So I want to go over a few rules and laws in Iran about women. Basically, it's everything against what Democrats believe. So if you're a woman in Iran, they see you as a half a brain. So you don't have the full brain. So let's say if you witnessed...
I'm sorry, I had to stop right there. Technically, in America, the people who are saying that actually do have half a brain. That's the whole irony in that. That's a gag in that, right? Is the libs, as we call them, libtards, etc., the lefties, actually have half a brain. So I think that's just, it's probably written in the stars or something like that.
Murder, and you're a woman, and you want to go to the court and say that you witnessed the murder, there should be 3 women. So your witness, like your words, will be approved in the court. Versus if it's a man and it witnessed a murder, only 1 man is enough. Why? Because they say women have half a brain. If you're a woman in Iran, you have kids and you want to divorce, you only can have that child until 7 years. After 7 years, your child is for your husband, and he can come and take the child away from you, and you might never ever see your child again. Or if he doesn't want to, he can leave this child with you, and there is nothing that you can do about it.
You get that, black women in this sector? You are not oppressed. Maybe you guys should live like this for 30 fucking days and then realize what true oppression is, instead of opening up your mouth, white man bad, and we hate white women. Blonde hair, blue eyes, yet we try to look like them all the time, don't we?
If you're a woman in Iran and you want to divorce your husband, you have to go through hell. But if your husband wants to divorce you, it's super easy for them. If you're a woman in Iran and you're being beaten up by your husband, and me as your neighbor call the police and say, my neighbor is, hitting his wife to death, police will do nothing. They will say, well, it's a family matter and it is his wife. So basically, a wife for a man is like an object, just like they bought a car or something.
I got to say this. I got to say it. Ladies, gentlemen, somewhere in between, please hold your meals until after, or maybe eat them before a video. I'm pretty sure she might be a nurse or works in a hospital or something like that. I just kind of see the scrub she's got on. So maybe this is her lunch break and she's trying to do both at the same time. And I appreciate, again, the context and the information. But yeah, this is something I do my best not to always be sipping or drinking or something. But, because I am using my vocal cords for hours a day, I have to take care of that situation. I'm continuously do my best to not make too many disruptive aspects. So I'm just going to put that out there. Whoever needs to hear it, hear it. But again, for everybody watching at home, Please do your best to listen to the context as opposed to the.
So they will not interfere, and they will say that it's their personal problem, it's not our problem. If you're a woman in Iran and you want to travel out of country, you have to have the approval from your father if you're single, or your brother if you don't have a father. If you're married, you have to have the approval from your husband. So basically your husband has to sign a paper that gives you the permission to leave the country. And let's say your husband said you can keep.
I know them red pillars out there right now are going. I know y'all are booking tickets to Iran right now. He said, "Wait a minute. She needs my approval for everything. This sounds like a utopia." Well, guess what? Let's just.
It's not a utopia. And women in this country need to thank God they're not going through that shit. And it's not just black women. I've seen white women act like they're oppressed too. To a very, very tiny degree, yeah, a job might want to hire a guy rather than a woman because women bring drama. Pull drama in Iran and see what happens to you.
Switch the roles around and say you as a grown-ass man need to ask your dad or ask your wife. Well, some of y'all are already kind of in that type of situation, but imagine that you're living under these types of restrictions. Now again, we have the lefties who are so-called advocates for women. They're so-called the harborers of the feminist movement, right? They're the birth givers of this quote-unquote feminist movement, and yet there is absolute silence when it comes to this. Silence.
Because America has the money. Why were there so many women on welfare having 10 kids or more? To keep the money flowing. Oh, but they're oppressed. Women in this country need to be thankful for the freedoms we have. You know, you want to say, oh no, we're oppressed. You're oppressed from being shoved into the military. Guys at the age of 18 have to register with Selective Service so if there's a draft, they can get drafted. Make that a law for women to have to do it too. There's been talk about it, and people don't like it, especially women. Men are expected to be the breadwinners and go out and work for a living while the woman can stay at home and, as we've seen, can do nothing at all and expect the men to even hire maids and housekeepers and whatever so they don't have to do anything. And if they decide they don't want to have sex with the guy, they don't have to have sex with their husband. But if he goes and cheats on them, they can go for divorce and take everything he has. Look at this shit with the kids. How many women on welfare would fight tooth and nail to keep their kids, to keep getting that welfare check? But I happen to know a woman who gave 2 kids up for adoption, put them in the system, and a third kid gave to her mother, and her mother adopted it because welfare wasn't going to pay for them anymore. That wasn't out of necessity. She still had 5 fucking kids that they were paying for. Yeah, but women are oppressed here. It's not perfect. But where is there truly this perfect utopia? The la la land that's in your brains that you think you can have and want? And when guys bow down to women, they're called simps. Women in America actually do have it pretty good. You're hearing what's going on in Iran. I think there are a ton of women, especially in this sector, who need to be taught a lesson and go stay in Iran for 30 days and have to follow all the rules. You think they'd like that? Put that fucking Arabia Barbosa and fucking Keep the Change and Queenie and all the fucking others in Iran. How long do you think they'll survive? Arabia thinks she's such a fucking tough guy. She's more like a guy than she's a woman. What the fuck would they do to her in Iran? Keep the change in her lying ass mouth. What would they do to her in Iran? Trey Spectives, Queenie, Moonlight, Sister T, Queen Regina. Mercy T for the bullshit she pulled. And a whole slew of others. How would they survive in Iran? Think about it. Oh, and throw in that bitch True Essence too. How would she survive in Iran? Be grateful for the blessings you have, ladies, and I use this term very, very loosely. You think you got it bad? You don't have it bad.
Actual oppression, second class citizenry. You're being treated essentially in the same way as a piece of property would be treated. Dare I say, servitude or even slavery.
Yes, but yet, especially the people in this sector of YouTube think they're slaves. Where the fuck are they slaves? Keep the Change cheated on her husband with a woman. And then when it came out that this person was actually a woman, she tried playing the game of she didn't fucking know. For doing something like that in Iran, what do you think the penalty would be for Keep the Change? Nothing? Arabia is bisexual. What would be the punishment for her? These women lie so much. What would be the punishment for that? In a number of countries, which I also believe Iran is one of them, I'm not sure, you'd have to look it up. A woman can get gang raped and she'll be the one punished for it for enticing the guys to rape her. Still think you's got it bad here?
But yet, absolute silence. And this is what they're defending. They're going to be out there, I bet you. And this is filmed on what's today? Today is the 22nd, June 22nd. Mark my words, they will have Iranian flags. And I'm talking about the current one of this regime, not the original lion that stands for Persia and their rich history. I'm talking about this regime. They're going to have that damn flag in their bio by the end of today. All of them.
18 years old, you have no right over that kid. Basically, if you want to leave the country, the kid cannot leave the country unless the
Oh, also, like that douchebag piece of shit bitch Moonlight? Garrick's a pedophile. Her daughter would have taken from her, according to this, at the age of 7 or 10, and she could be married off. There are some countries where you can actually hear the little girls being forced into, let's say, the wedding night ritual. But oh yeah, you's got it so bad here, right?
fathers approves it and give the permission. If you're a woman in Iran, you can never become a judge, because they say women decide with their emotions, so they cannot be a good judge.
Well, that's actually true in the case of the judge who was lowering that bond for Carmelo Anthony. Oh, well, he looks like me, so I lowered the bond and she still has a job. At least in this country, women can become judges, lawyers, police officers, teachers, whatever they want to be. But instead, they'd rather be on YouTube playing the poor me, pity me game. I'm a black woman, you've got to treat me like the victim, but I'll stand here and say I'm strong and I stand on my own 2 feet, and blah, 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 blah. And yes, you have white women who do that too. It, we are spoiled here in America, if you want to look at it that way. None of us could survive in Iran. Like Meghan Markle couldn't take it in the fucking palace.
You're a woman and you walk into your home and you see your husband with another woman and you get mad and you kill them, you will be hanged. But if you're a man, you walked in a room and get your husband with another man, you can kill both of them and nothing's gonna happen to you. In Iran,
Yeah, that's
you
the
will.
part that gets me, to be honest, is it's just
Exactly. Was keep the change hung. Arabia has opened up her mouth. She has cheated on people she's been with. Has she been hung? And don't give me this bullshit. I'm racist and I'm saying hung because that's how black people were treated, blah, blah, blah. I'm going by what this woman has said. Moonlight showing off her twat and tits on air. She might be hung for that if living in Iran. Queen Regina for her 15-inch tutorial might be hung if she was in Iran. What the fuck is wrong with people here in America? It's not perfect, but it is way better than some other countries. I got money. I got money. Well, go visit them and see what happens. There was a black woman who just started screaming, like a lot of them will do, and cause drama and problems and this and that and that and that. And she was arrested for yelling in another country because women aren't allowed to do that. Women here were all in an uproar, but yet none of the women here were arrested for doing that. None of the women in this sector have been arrested for the bullshit they do, except for Sister T. She went to jail because another sisterhood bitch took her to court. And that sister bitch can't take guys to court and win. So, yes, there are things that happen here that may not be fair. But go live in Iran. See what happens to you there. No? Why? Because you're a bunch of motherfucking cowards? Or you like living the lie of being oppressed so you get pity? Well, I don't want to be that kind of person. Thank God then that I'm white.
a double standard. Like, keep it the same for everybody. If you get to murk them and have no consequences, then it should be both ways. God on the street. I don't play that game because I am a man. I'm supposed to just stand up for. No, I stand up for what is right. So if the man's right in the situation, I'm gonna stand with him. If the woman's right in the situation, I'm gonna stand with her. I stand with the truth. Therefore, yeah, that's dead ass wrong. I was like, where's she going with that one? I'm like, you about to, okay. I see where you're going with that one. That's an absolute violation. So again, I brought this video up for one reason only, is to show that what we oftentimes see from the, I guess, the more newsworthy, the cataclysmic, as opposed to what's actually happening on the ground, people's stories, why it is that they actually may desire the change that they want within their lives. It's something that is easy to recognize if you are a true America first. And I'm not talking about this statement that's being thrown around and weaponized. I'm talking about you really love America. You love what this country represents and everything that it has afforded you. You know and recognize this is the greatest country in the world. When you have that stance, you would wish that sort of freedom for everybody.
Yep.
That's at least how I am. I look to the world and I say, man, the reason I want the world to unlock the power of like a free market, right? A true capitalistic market, not the crony, not the reason I want that is because I know what it has done in my life. And this coming from an immigrant who became an American citizen the right way through the green card process over a 10-year span. I know what that is. To come from a place that you're essentially dead in the water. As soon as you're born, you're having to have so many workarounds. And if you create something of success, work against the government, your own government's working against you. You can't just do what you truly want to do, let alone you can't even do things in your own household. You are bonded by your ethnicity. You're bonded by your religion. You're bonded by your gender. I would not wish that on any damn body. Now, again, there are those who opt into it, those who give themselves over to the leftist mentality, this Marxist ideology, etc. And it's like, you're going to get the results from that you wish. You continue to vote for that, you get those results. But as far as I'm concerned, there are those who truly want to taste that freedom. They want to experience it. And maybe I'm a little biased because I worked in a Persian restaurant with all Iranian family. They were a Christian family. They were a loving family. They accepted me. They welcomed me with open arms. You know what I'm saying? I was the only non-Persian person except for maybe the chef, but the chef was from like Kazakhstan or something like that. Somebody's Akistan. But everybody else was Iranian, and I was the only one who was non-Iranian who worked in there. And what I remember more than anything else is that they loved their country, but they fled from that regime. And so I just want this to be a point of consideration, when we're having these sorts of back and forth arguments or whatever it may be. And again, when it's all said and done, to think for ourselves. I continue to educate myself. That's why I'm also not going to do a full-fledged on the breakdown. I'm going to let things play out, right? I'm not just necessarily a political channel only, though I make my stances real well known. Who I stand with, who I don't, what I'm for, what I'm not about. I'm not shy about that aspect, not anymore. But what I will say is let's continue to essentially look at what is going on the ground. What's actually behind the thing itself? And do I stand for that or not? And that's why when it's all said and done, I stand behind my president and the decisions that he's currently making and the decisions that he essentially has been standing behind for the last decade plus. I don't stand for Obama's regime of funding these sorts of, Obama's regime administration, which funded these sorts of regimes. I don't stand for that. I don't care if we may have, a likeness in melanin. I don't care. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click.
Sub up to Aquarius Wave, AQUARIUSWAVE. Here you go. He has a lot of other videos that makes a lot of sense.